Welcome to the SoberQ podcast.
Hi, my name's Anthony and I am an alcoholic. My home group is Steps in Rosanna on a Sunday night. The question is a step one question. How did I know I was an alcoholic? I had thoughts, ideas, inklings that there was something wrong with my drinking because I found it harder to take more time off between drinks. It reached a pinnacle in 2018 where I couldn't get more than 3 or 4 days without taking a drink. I found myself coaching myself in the morning, telling myself, today I will not have a drink. But by the afternoon or by home time from work, I would have driven through a drive-through bottle shop. I would have walked into a bottle shop. I would have found a bottle shop on the way home to get something to drink, and I would have started drinking that before I got home. This isn't the behaviour of someone who just needs a drink to unwind. Now, I knew that this was too much of a problem for me, and I started listening to people who were talking about their sobriety, and I was listening to one person who was talking about the first step of Alcoholics Anonymous. Now, Alcoholics Anonymous was not for me. I wasn't going to be joining that religious cult, but what I heard about this first step was that I'm powerless over alcohol. So I set myself a reminder on my phone in the morning and in the afternoon and in the evening to tell myself I'm powerless over alcohol. If I had any doubt about whether or not I'm an alcoholic, it was eradicated by the simple fact that I had started to coach myself on this idea that I was powerless over alcohol. But it didn't stop me. I kept drinking and I kept drinking and I kept drinking. And it was to the point where I managed to collapse everything around my family. And my wife at the time told me that I had no option other than to get to AA. And I went into my first AA meeting in late November 2018. And I heard things that startled me, things that worried me about how long people would stay sober, because I was there to just fix my drinking problem, not to stop drinking. And I heard things that made me realise that my problem with alcohol was more serious than just being able to say no to a drink. I consider myself to be fortunate because when I walked into that meeting, I was greeted by someone who told me to come in, sit down, don't pay attention to the God stuff. And I was desperate. As I saw it, I needed to salvage the situation at home. And that wasn't going to happen by me taking a little break from alcohol. I needed to understand more about this problem. It was in the rooms that I heard that it was possible to live a life without alcohol. I started getting to more meetings. I was in a position where I could get to multiple meetings in a week, even in a day. And I threw my entire existence into my early sobriety because I needed to. I latched onto that first step. The full first step is I'm powerless over alcohol and my life has become unmanageable. My life was most definitely unmanageable. And I've latched onto the third tradition, which states that the only requirement for AA membership is a desire to stop drinking. I had a desire to stop drinking. That desire got stronger the more time I spent in AA. I did not want to go back to drinking. My life was unmanageable. I was powerless over alcohol. So I just kept with the program, and I am utterly convinced that AA has saved my life. I'm one very grateful alcoholic. Thanks for asking me to share.
If you would like to share your experience on a recovery question, visit the SoberQ podcast website at soberq.com. Thanks for listening.